Imagine being the voice of God, a living legend, celebrated for decades on screens worldwide. Yet, what if Morgan Freeman himself, in the grandeur of an Oscar ceremony, was made to feel out of place? Stay tuned for a twist that'll leave you reflecting on the invisible biases hiding even in the brightest of lights. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more gripping stories. The Oscars had always been a second home to Morgan Freeman, a place of recognition, celebration, and legacy. On this particular night, Freeman had arrived earlier than usual, wanting to enjoy the event without the frenzy of photographers and reporters. Instead of the usual limo, he had chosen to arrive in a modest car, his attire simple yet elegant, far from the flamboyant fashion statements that dominated the event. For Freeman, it was never about appearances. It was about substance, the craft, and the stories. As he stepped onto the iconic red carpet, the scene was as dazzling as ever. The paparazzi flashes lit up the night like a lightning storm, capturing every detail of the celebrities. But Freeman noticed something peculiar. The usual wave of recognition didn't come his way. Eyes glanced past him, a murmur here, a whisper there, but nothing more. Freeman approached the entrance where a row of security guards stood, ensuring the exclusivity of the event. He handed his invitation to one of the attendants, but before he could proceed, a tall, stern security guard intercepted him. "Excuse me, sir," the guard said, holding out a hand to block his path. "Can I see your credentials?" Freeman raised an eyebrow, surprised. "I just handed over my invitation," he replied in his calm, resonant voice. The guard hesitated, glancing over at the attendant who had taken the card. "I'm going to need some ID, sir, just a precaution." Freeman chuckled softly, his iconic voice carrying a mix of amusement and confusion. "Do you know who I am?" The guard's face remained blank, his posture firm. "I'm sorry, sir, it's standard protocol." For a moment, Freeman was tempted to dismiss it as a mistake, a harmless misunderstanding. But the subtle tension in the guard's demeanor spoke volumes. It wasn't just protocol. It was a quiet questioning of his place, his belonging, his worth in that space. The air grew thick as other guests began to take notice. Some exchanged curious glances, others quickly looked away, unwilling to engage. Freeman, always the epitome of grace, held his ground. "I've been coming to this event for decades," he said, his voice steady. "You've probably heard it a few times, the name's Morgan Freeman." The guard faltered, the realization dawning on him. But instead of stepping aside, he doubled down, radioing another security officer. Freeman could see the growing unease in the crowd, the whispers spreading like wildfire. Within moments, a supervisor arrived, his expression a mix of confusion and embarrassment. "Mr. Freeman, I'm so sorry," the supervisor stammered. "There seems to have been a misunderstanding." Freeman stood tall, his calm demeanor betraying none of the sting he felt. "A misunderstanding," he repeated, the weight of the words settling over the crowd. He turned to the guests who were now watching intently, their conversations silenced. "You see, this isn't just about tonight. It's about the countless moments when people like me, despite everything we've accomplished, are still seen as outsiders. Even here, at an event meant to celebrate creativity, excellence, and unity, assumptions creep in. Biases take root, and we are reminded, yet again, that the journey to true equality is far from over." The room fell silent, his words hanging in the air like a solemn hymn. Freeman's voice softened, but the conviction remained. "I've played roles that embody hope, redemption, and resilience. But tonight, I stand here not as an actor, but as a man asking a simple question. When will we stop judging each other by appearances and start seeing each other for who we truly are?" The guard, now visibly flustered, stepped aside, his face etched with shame. The supervisor extended an apologetic hand, but Freeman merely nodded, his gaze fixed ahead. As he walked into the venue, a ripple of applause broke out, hesitant at first but growing stronger. It wasn't for his films, his accolades, or his voice. It was for the truth he had spoken, a truth that resonated far beyond the gilded walls of the Oscars. This moment wasn't just about Morgan Freeman. It was about every person who has ever been judged, sidelined, or questioned based on prejudice rather than merit. The ceremony proceeded, but the incident lingered in the minds of everyone present. Freeman's words became a quiet call to action, a reminder that even in spaces of privilege and celebration, there's always room for introspection and growth. Let this story remind us that change begins with acknowledgement and action. Let's question our biases and build a world where everyone feels they belong. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more impactful stories. As the night progressed, Freeman's message echoed not just within the confines of the venue but across social media, where attendees and viewers shared the incident in real time. Clips of his poised response began trending, with hashtags like #See the person and #Morgan Freeman moment gaining momentum. His speech during the ceremony itself carried even more weight. When Freeman took the stage to present an award, he subtly wove in a message of inclusivity and the importance of recognizing unseen biases. In the stories we tell, he began, his voice resonant and steady, we often depict heroes overcoming adversities, finding their place in worlds that push them aside. But what happens when those worlds refuse to change? When the barriers, though invisible, remain unshaken? Tonight, I challenge all of us, creators, dreamers, visionaries, to not only tell those stories, but to live them, to embody the change we so often project onto the screen. The audience erupted into applause, the sound reverberating through the room. Freeman's grace under pressure had transformed what could have been a moment of discomfort into an unforgettable lesson on humility, dignity, and the power of words. The guard involved in the incident reportedly approached Freeman after the ceremony, apologizing sincerely for his actions. Freeman, ever the gentleman, accepted the apology with a nod. "It's not about blame," he said, "it's about learning. Let this be a moment of growth for both of us." The Academy released a statement the following day, emphasizing the importance of training their staff to ensure such incidents don't happen again. They praised Freeman's handling of the situation and promised to implement better measures to foster respect and inclusivity. But Freeman's words carried the most weight, as he shared a final thought during an interview that went viral. Recognition and respect shouldn't be earned through fame or accolades. They should be inherent, offered to every individual as a basic human right. Tonight was a reminder, not just for me, but for all of us, that there's still work to be done. And so, the night that began as an uncomfortable confrontation became a powerful story of resilience and transformation. Freeman's voice, already iconic, once again became a symbol of courage and integrity, proving that even in moments of adversity, there's an opportunity to inspire change. What do you think about this incident? Have you ever experienced or witnessed subtle biases in your life? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more thought-provoking stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching Whispered Stories Worlds. Together, let's keep shining a light on the truths that matter. As the days unfolded after the ceremony, the incident sparked broader discussions beyond Hollywood. Freeman's words ignited conversations about unconscious biases and the subtle ways they manifest in various walks of life, at workplaces, in public spaces, and even in personal relationships. Prominent figures, including actors, activists, and public leaders, shared their thoughts on the moment. One particularly moving response came from a fellow actor, Viola Davis, who applauded Freeman's calm yet powerful handling of the situation. "It's moments like these," she said during an interview, "that show us the importance of grace under fire. Morgan didn't just respond, he taught us. He turned a moment of ignorance into an opportunity for awareness. That's the mark of true greatness." Meanwhile, social media platforms became a hub for discussions. Many users shared their personal experiences with implicit bias, creating a collective space for stories and reflections. One tweet read, "What Morgan Freeman experienced happens to so many of us daily, but without cameras or audiences. His composure gives us hope, and his message challenges us to demand better." Another user shared, "That moment was more than just about Morgan Freeman. It was about how often society fails to truly see people for who they are. We've got to do better." Freeman's subtle yet profound approach to the aftermath inspired institutions beyond the academy. Companies and organizations began re-evaluating their training programs on diversity, equity, and inclusion. One HR professional commented in a LinkedIn post, "We're using Morgan Freeman's words as a teaching moment for our staff. Recognition and respect should be foundational in any environment. His experience is a call to action for all of us." Freeman himself stayed relatively quiet about the incident afterward, letting his actions and words during the event speak for themselves. Instead, he focused on using the renewed attention to amplify causes he has long supported. From advocating for racial equity to championing mentorship programs for underprivileged youth, Freeman's actions reminded the world that his legacy is built not just on his voice, but on his values. In a special interview with a major news outlet, Freeman shared deeper reflections. "We must remember, change is never comfortable. It requires us to confront hard truths about others and about ourselves. But it's in those moments of discomfort that growth becomes possible. If my experience of the Oscars can spark even a small amount of growth, then it was worth it." By now, the event had transcended its origins as a singular moment, evolving into a cultural milestone. Schools began discussing it as a case study on social awareness. Public speaking courses referenced Freeman's handling of adversity as a masterclass in composure and influence. The Academy, taking its commitment seriously, launched an initiative titled Respect First, aimed at training its staff and affiliates on recognizing and eliminating biases. The program was lauded as a significant step forward, with Freeman invited to speak at its inaugural session. His keynote, as always, was both stirring and unforgettable. "Respect isn't just something we give because someone is watching," he said. "It's who we are when no one is." Freeman's enduring message continued to ripple outward, reminding people that moments of prejudice, whether big or small, are opportunities for society to do better. Advocacy groups hailed the night as a pivotal moment in the fight against implicit bias. The story became a reminder for viewers around the globe about the power of humility and resilience. Freeman's actions were a testament to the fact that, even in the face of disregard, one can demand acknowledgement and respect without hostility, instead inspiring transformative dialogue. So, what can we take away from Morgan Freeman's experience? It's not just about reacting to injustice. It's about transforming that reaction into meaningful change. Whether you're facing a moment of bias or witnessing one, remember, every moment carries the potential to educate, to enlighten, and to evolve. Thank you for joining us on this journey through another thought-provoking story here at Whispered Stories Worlds. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need to hear its message. Together, Let's continue sharing stories that inspire, challenge, and change the world. See you in the next video.